Whether it was online or couch co-op, co-op games have always been a part of the gaming industry, but director Joseph Fares and Hazelight Studios took co-op games to a whole new level, with A Way Out in 2018 and It Takes Two in 2021. Both games have been completely built to be played in co-op. The studio's philosophy with those games was putting fun over every other aspect in the game. They mix it pretty well, as they use writing, twists, puzzles, even references, and they don't hold back on goofing sometimes, to serve one purpose, that purpose being making the game more fun. Their formula in creating those games was a perfect balance between making the game fun and not serious, but when important story or plot moments are around, those games get dead serious. That formula reached its peak success with It Takes Two, as the game won the Game of the Year award in 2021, which was kinda surprising for me. Not to say the game was bad, on the contrary, It Takes Two is my favorite co-op game, but it was surprising to see a co-op based game win the award. So, join me and let's talk about their most recent game, Split Fiction. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Only Thing Gaming channel. Split Fiction is an action-adventure cooperative multiplayer-only game. I honestly was waiting for this game since it was announced, because when Hazelight Studios make a game, you know it's going to be something different. So trying this game was a breath of fresh air. It follows authors Mio Hudson and Zoe Foster after they become imprisoned in the world of their stories when they are connected to a machine designed to steal creative ideas. As per usual, timestamps for topics in this video can be found in the description down below, so if you would like to jump to a certain point, feel free to do that. If not, you're welcome to watch the whole thing, so let's jump right into it.
Welcome to the next chapter of storytelling.
I'd like to start by mentioning this video doesn't contain any spoilers for the story, if you're worried about that. As mentioned before, the two main characters of the game are Mio and Zoe, two authors. Mio writes science fiction stories, while Zoe writes fantasy stories. They get invited by a company called Raider Publishing to test out an experimental simulation device along with 4 other writers. The machine allows occupants to experience the stories they submitted as reality. As the machine starts up, each occupant is encased in a bubble and placed into suspended animation while they experience their story. In the last moment, Mio hesitates, panics, and tries to back out. The CEO of the company accidentally pushes Mio into the same bubble where Zoe is. From there, Mio and Zoe bond with each other as they try to find a way out by searching for glitches in worlds made by both of them. In other words, worlds of science fiction and worlds of fantasy. If you've been enjoying this video, don't forget to press that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for more content like this. And without further ado, let's move on to talk about the gameplay. If I wanted to describe the gameplay in Split Fiction, many words can cross my mind, but the word diverse describes it like no other words can. The level design here is genius. The game transitions itself from 3D to 2D environment in a very smooth way. The respawn system after failing is great, it's fast, and it spawns you right where you left off. And just like It Takes Two, each chapter of the story of the game changes the tools you and your friend get. The game shines in creating unforgettable moments like the robot captcha you try to solve when riding the bike. Just like the real thing, they managed to make it annoying, and this was the first time I've had to do one of those puzzles inside an actual game. And speaking of puzzles, the puzzle design here is one of the most creative in games I've played in recent memory. The change of your tools each chapter makes the game change constantly. 2 instances that come to mind are the ability to control the jungle and the ability to control gravity on Zoe's side. An easy way to describe this is just by saying each new chapter feels like playing a whole new game. Even boss fights in this game are kind of solving a puzzle. Just like It Takes Two, if one of the players dies, he gets to respawn by mashing the Y or triangle button and continue right where he left off. The only time you restart from last checkpoint is when both players die at the same time. The game is mostly considered linear, but the game offers opportunities for exploration. You get rewarded with interesting references and side missions like the Pix level we saw in the game's announcement. Checkpoint system is very reliable, and each time you load the game you can choose which character you'd like to pick and start where you left off. And speaking of your picked character, last thing to talk about in the gameplay section is the replay value in the game. I played the game as Zoe, and playing the game using Mio can be a different experience, as I can get to be on the other side with a whole different set of tools and paths for some levels. My PC specs can be seen on the screen right now. The game performs decently most of the time. I locked FPS to 60 and played the game at a solid stable 60 FPS. The only problem I had with the game was the sudden frame drops from 60 frames to even below 20 frames per second. Once that happens, nothing fixes the game, even using FSR on quality and lowering the settings. The only fix I found for this problem was quitting the game and starting it again. My theory for this was a VRAM issue, as the game reaches an 8GB usage of the memory and then it starts stuttering until restarted. This problem was not new to me, as I saw a similar issue with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle last year. It could either be an 8GB cards problem or an AMD cards problem. But to be completely fair, this issue didn't prevent me from playing and finishing the game, but having to restart the game each time VRAM usage reaches the 8GB threshold was annoying. I think at this point the conclusion is pretty obvious. It Takes Two is still my favorite co-op game, but that doesn't take anything away from Split Fiction. Split Fiction is without a doubt another gem that made it to the Hazelight Studios list of gems. The replay value here doesn't extend only to playing the game with Mio or Zoe. They went over and beyond with the secrets and references.
We've got to have faith.
There's even a round table hold location from Elden Ring, which by the way I missed, but I saw it the other day on YouTube. And let me just tell you, seeing it put a huge smile on my face. Now, to be honest, I don't recommend playing this with online co-op. I think offline co-op offers the better experience. With all of that being said, my final score for this game is a solid 9 out of 10. I think this game is going to be played for years to come, and people are going to discover a lot of things in this game and get surprised each time. We've reached the end of this review. If you are still watching until now, I would like to thank you for sticking through the whole thing. Tell me what you think about Split Fiction in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this video. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of the 2 videos you see on your screen right now.